They're going to have to find the back of the net at least one more time.
Yeah, I really do think that Liberty Hill is a threat to score again, and so Elizario is going to need a third. But you're right about the emotions, and I actually think the emotions probably played a part in giving up that goal. You're so excited to have just scored that maybe you're not as concentrated as you should be on finishing out the remainder of the half, and they were just a little bit lax in their defensive responsibilities, should have never given up the corner to begin with, and then the marking was a little bit loose in the box. But you got to give credit to Elizario. You can't ask as a coach for your players to respond better to giving up a tie goal against the run of play. In many respects, it's going to be a tie game at halftime. The reaction was excellent.
So that's my lucky day?
Coming out.
Oh yeah, my lucky day.
And that will be on, I believe, the Panthers of Liberty Hill. Not seeing who was issued the caution there.
I think it was number 13, Risotto, since he's jogging off. He seemed to know that it was coming. He didn't even bother for the referee to actually pull the card out.
And indeed it was Risotto trying to get as far away from the center referee as possible, but it will not matter as he picks up the caution early here in the second half. And this Sanelli team, just so impressive, so technically proficient with the ball with their boots, are the Eagles in white. Talking about their player. Now coming in here.
They move the ball so quickly that 2 or 3 passes later, the ball could be in the completely opposite side of the field, and it just makes it so difficult and it's so fatiguing for Liberty Hill to have to chase all the way across this pitch every single time to keep their shape and stay in between the ball and the goal.
Oh, what a touch here to the near side, knocked over the line, and the corner coming for Sanelli. So Sanelli maybe covering up a bit of defensive lapses in the first half with their offensive prowess. But if you can score 3, 4, or 5 goals a game, you can concede 1, 2, or 3.
And I gotta admit, it's my favorite type of soccer to watch. I would much rather see a team that tries to outscore the opponent rather than a team that's built around just, you know, not conceding and then trying to nick one. But every team has to play to the strengths of their own personnel, and this game has been end-to-end action. But right now we are at the end where Elizario is scoring. They've already scored one of these corner kicks, and the referee's not allowing the corner to be taken. A card's been shown.
Yeah, and that is going to be on Sanelli. I believe that will be on number 10, Edwin Marquez. So Marquez going into the book, and you've got to think that is for dissent and nothing else. A few words there for the referee, and well, that's never going to do anything good.
Couldn't quite see what led to that incident. There might have been a scuffle in the box, but the corner kick was not ready to be taken yet. So it could have just as easily been dialogue about a play that had happened prior to that. But he is walking off the mandatory substitution anytime there is a caution in high school soccer.
And one of the differences here in the high school game, clock counting down as opposed to counting up, and unlimited substitutions, players allowed to come on and off the field as many times as their coaching staff so chooses. But now the corner for the Eagles from the near side. Played to the far post, and that is going to find the crossbar. That came off a Panther, and lucky that didn't cross the goal line.
That is the second time off of that same crossbar. It happened at this end of the field in the first half too, that somehow miraculously the ball has ricocheted down and not crossed the goal line. Liberty Hill had someone there to finish it off the rebound in the first half, and that time it gets cleared, but only briefly.
Yeah, 9th senior goalkeeper sparing the blushes there. This
doesn't look like the type of pass that would lead to a shot because it's to the back foot of the forward. That usually is a ball that they're going to have to just shield and lay off, but an incredible first touch to turn against the grain, and the ball goes in at the far post, off of the post.
Now, what a touch that was. I don't think anyone, certainly the goalkeeper Knight, did not anticipate that one going in, and Well, he dove for the far post, but much too late. The ball had already found the back of his net. You can say anything you want about San Elizario, but do not say this is a boring team. This is one of the most exciting matches I've seen in a long time.
They
made 3 goals.
enjoying themselves out
A
there,
goal.
which is what you love to
Right
see as a
now.
coach, but it's so
we made
rare
it.
in a high-pressure environment like this to see the passion and the joy, but they're playing with smiles on their faces. They're playing with confidence and composure and intensity, and what a team, you gotta say. But Liberty Hill still is not done. There is a lot of time left in this one, and if they can gather themselves mentally, maybe they can get a second goal.
There's some beans in there.
Well, you mentioned Liberty Hill when they found the equalizer with 67 seconds remaining in the first half. Their bench exploded. Their coach, Derek Bauer, jumping up and down. Their fans almost breaking the stands on the far side here at Brickleblock Field. Contrasting style. San Eli scores, and their head coach, Max Safenfield, no outward display of emotion, just simply dictating, saying move to this side, move closer here, continuing to coach, continuing to try to get his guys in the right spots. And I think he has a feeling this may not be the last goal we're going to see in this one.
Well, San Elizario is carrying on with the match. It's incredibly impressive to see the professionalism and the confidence of wanting to go right back out there and do it again. Their eagerness several times has allowed Liberty Hill to do what they just did there and cut the ball past a defender who's overcommitting. But Liberty Hill has not been able to translate that into chances on the offensive end yet from the run of play. It's pretty much been all set pieces.
And their semifinal against the Kilgore Bulldogs, the 5-1 victory in that one for San Eli. I compared them to the Mexican Giants Club America from Mexico City. Not only do they have the same colors, they play a very similar style. And I'm going to stick with that. That ball kept in. Well done. Panthers with an opportunity at the top. It goes. And that came off the boot of Kipper, but no trouble for Cervantes.
Was a very similar play to the one that San Elizario just scored on, but they weren't able to get quite the same amount of power on the shot. The Eagles have a player down off the field on the far side.
And do they do? Or excuse me, indeed they do. And they will send the training staff as Jose Rojas goes out to check. Good news is that Eagle is on his feet, but hobbling off behind Cervantes' goal. And a change now coming, as the Eagles will bring on number 24 to Luis Castro. So Castro listed as a goalkeeper, but coming out in the white top as a field player. And San Eli, well, their fans very quiet here as the players attended to on the far side. You're watching the 2015 UAL Soccer State Championships on the NFHS network. So pleased you could join us. My name is Kid Meconico, joined by my good friend and colleague Edward Cartier. And Edward, we've been treated to some great matches here, but San Eli, as you said, in these big matches, so much pressure. You really don't see the best of a team generally in a state semifinal or a final. Not the case with San Eli.
Oh, what a piece of skill there while you were talking.
Oh,
sure
Roja.
Be a card because that foul was just a temperamental piece of revenge for the fact that he just got embarrassed by that.
Yeah, Zalch absolutely taken to the woodshed on that one, and as a result, he lashes out. The yellow card is going to the senior midfielder, number 19, Zachary Zalch. And a free kick on the far side coming for the Eagles. And the Eagles, they put on a display, a master class so far today. Not to say that Liberty Hill has not held their own, but the one-on-one play, the individual talent, so impressive from San Eli.
I really am thinking that Liberty Hill has never succeeded in utilizing the extra man that they have in the midfield. And that would be something that they would really have to do if they want to get back in this game, because they would have to control the ball. And
how many cameras you got going?
has controlled the ball. They've had all of the control
What are you
over
doing
the
with your
tempo of this game. They've really dictated it to their opponent. And if Liberty Hill could outpossess them in the midfield, maybe they could reverse that. But right now, just not enough teamwork from the guys in there to pass the ball between each other and build some momentum.
Marquez out to the far side, looking to swing this one in, able to do so. Knight there to make it his own. We mentioned in the pregame the X factor for Liberty Hill was that central midfielder Perez, but he's been notably absent the entire second half and most of the first as well.
In the first half, he sprayed a couple good passes that his teammates didn't read, and he hasn't really even been able to do that in this half. If he can get himself involved more, that's what the Panthers are going to need.
Sanelli here on the near side, ball at the boots of Ruiz. Back with it. Now Ruiz down on the turf, and he is slow to get up. Injuries have been an issue for Sanelli. With a 2-goal lead and 32 minutes remaining. Still plenty of time for the Panthers of Liberty Hill to get back into this one, but they've got to improve the lane play. Having trouble getting it through the midfield to the guys up front.
Alternatively, perhaps they should just try to get the ball behind the San Elizario back line, but one way or the other, they have to find a way to create set-piece opportunities. That's been their best scoring chances so far, and they've looked dangerous off of those, but through the run of play, they've just been ineffective, and I would encourage them to either connect more passes through the midfield, or if they feel like that's not working for them, and they just need to go to now. Neither strategy is really succeeding. The only thing they have had is a couple dribble runs.
Sitting there jumping up and down on the ground.
The field too far away from the goal.
You are. I'm watching you.
A huge disconnect between the forwards and the midfield line for the Panthers, and that time you can see Perez, the general in the midfield, just saying calm down as the Panthers send that one well into touch on the far side. And I think the Panthers, as they have been from the opening whistle, I don't think they've seen a team like Sanelli this entire year. And frankly, they've just been caught off guard.
It's one of the beauties of the state tournament is that you get to match teams up against each other that don't normally play each other, but it's extremely difficult, and I'm sure that it was not easy for the coach of Liberty Hill to do much scouting, if any scouting, of San Elizario prior to seeing them yesterday. And that's not a lot of time to prepare your team for a team that plays in such a different style than what you probably are accustomed to facing in your district play. But Liberty Hill are a good team, and it's just a shame that they haven't yet been able to get in rhythm and really show it. This is what they need to do more of. That pass, if it were on the ground, would have allowed Perez to do something better with it, but that's the right idea, finally, from that midfield triangle in purple and gold.
Cervantes sends it back up via the boot. Goalkeeper clad in black. Now Perez with it from distance. That shot, no trouble for Cervantes, not on frame, and really a microcosm of how this game has gone for Liberty Hill. They've had a few opportunities, but just been unable to find the back of the net except for that one time, and really the ball bouncing around, and San Elizario unable to clear it defensively. Liberty Hill able to find the back of the net, but that mental mistake, the only one we've seen this afternoon from the Eagles.
Perez right there, he's correct to shoot, but I think he could have taken a touch and shot from closer. He was going to be pressured, but I think he had enough time to shoot from 5 yards closer to the goal, which would have had a much higher percentage of probable success than that long-range effort that went wide.
Advantage played. Sanelli still with it as Marquez went down here to the near side. Now the Panthers in the center circle looking to get numbers forward. Oh, well done, Kipper through. Now finds Risotto. Risotto on the right. Man open on the far side of Risotto, and just too much one-on-one play. Risotto looking to do it all himself. A corner coming for Liberty Hill, but as you said, had two men open on the right on the far side of the pitch, instead electing for the shot on goal, and lucky that the corner is the result.
He used his teammate's run as a decoy, and that sometimes is a good decision, but in this case, I think he probably should have rewarded the run. But hats off to Kipfer for the hustle to turn that deflected shot into a crossing opportunity to earn this corner.
Risotto, the Panthers' leading scorer, sends that one in the box as well, still bouncing, and finally cleared all the way up over the midfield line.
San Elizario had to bring all of their players back to defend that corner kick, though, and Liberty Hill is still on the offensive here.
Yeah, San Elizario has looked vulnerable. It has been defensively in clearing the ball. They've been unable to do it. They've let the ball bounce around their box a few times. It's bitten them once. The lone goal coming at the end of the first half. But Risotto, he's going to have to get in on the action, as is the man behind him, Perez. Risotto, as we said, one of the leading goal scorers in all of Class 4A, one of the leading point getters. He can do everything, but he has been Well, he's been absent from this, and you can credit the defense from the Eagles of Sanelli.
Well, the one statistic that he has achieved so far in this game is he has earned a yellow card, and he's got to be cautious not to pick up a second one. When you get that first booking, it just eliminates that margin for error, and you have to play intelligently for the rest of the game. And he should have the composure to do that, but it's just never something as a coach you want to see, because you always want a player to have that cushion where they can't afford to make one mistake without it costing the team as dearly as a red card would.
Brewer sending that one to Risotto on the far side, knocked away. Brewer giving chase, and the throw will keep it with the Panthers.
This is a good sequence of play for Liberty Hill. They need to get a goal out of this before the momentum changes again. If it's still 3-1 by the time that San Elizario is able to regain the momentum, then that is not boding well at all for Liberty Hill.
Both teams fighting for possession in the center third, eventually won back by the Panthers.
They're more aggressive now, huh?
Utahara goes in with the heavy touch from behind, and he will give the free kick to Liberty Hill. So Utahara now, and his line mate Marquez up front, getting a bit isolated, now dropping back defensively to take care of their responsibilities. And hats off to their head coach, Max Sappenfield. He has these guys into the right places at the right time. Always coaching, always dictating, saying move forward, move
That
back.
was him with the orange
Now with a
shoes.
few words for our fourth
I
official.
say my son is a beard.
Maybe here now.
Headed back, looking for Perez, and they'll stay
Hard to
with
see the
the
numbers on.
Panthers. So the Panthers, they had the crowd behind them momentarily, but now the fans clad in purple and gold on the far
Like
side,
whenever they're like,
noticeably
we're gonna
silent.
shoot to you.
Well,
You're
that
gonna say,
will change
distract
very
them,
quickly
and then
if they can
you
score
say,
off this long throw.
"Not
It's
that
a
word."
real weapon.
Looking Cervantes off his line, punches that one away. Well done from the senior. Alexis Cervantes finds Utahara. Utahara has it taken. Throw to Sanelli.
And they're going to try to slow the pace down here. They've been under the gun for the past 5 to 7 minutes. They want to catch their breath, gather themselves, and see if they can get this ball forward.
Looking up, that time for Marquez, unable to come down with it. Zausch. Now to Perez. In the center circle, hounded defensively.
Very good ball from the center back there, directly into the forward, and Risotto is able to hold on to possession.
Here to the near side at the boots of Sutter. He has been absent, has Cale Sutter. They've not called his name at all here in the second half. Risotto over the top looking for Perez, but well read there in the middle of the defense. Diaz first to it. On the far side it goes. Mendoza, the sophomore, number 23. All the way back. All of the Sanelli Eagles so proficient with their footwork. You don't have to worry about who's going to end up on the end of the pass. They're going to be able to settle it and find a teammate.
The sophomore defender there, Slade Cummings,
My brother's
did an
one of the
excellent job of
tallest
forcing San Elizario back into their own half, and then Liberty Hill is now able to regain possession. This is a good spell for the Panthers.
Brewer, the sophomore forward, he's been impressive coming on as a substitute. Zausch, all the way back to his right back. Now the high pressure from San Elizario looking to win it on the Panthers' side. San Elizario, they are not done. They are up 3-1, but looking for more.
It's quite a quandary because San Elizario is much more comfortable putting pressure on the other team and playing at a higher pace. I'm not sure if that's really the best approach for this phase of the match. For the next 10 minutes or so, I would think that they would want to just drop off and kind of try to absorb the pressure that Liberty Hill is putting on them right now. But that's not who they are, and they're sticking to their guns.
Well, you've got to play with what brung you. Sanelli, they are not a defensive team in any stretch of the imagination. That is not how they made it here to the state championships. And that is here to the near post, and Cervantes has no trouble gathering it.
The ball should have gone to the far post where they had all the personnel. Maybe a little bit of tired legs on the service, but I still think that the Panthers have had the ascendancy recently, and Zausch's improved performance in this second half has been a huge part of that. He's gotten himself on the ball, played simply, but it's calmed things down where they've started to have a little bit more self-belief, And now a great sequence of play here again. Up, back, and threw out to the other side.
And as here to the near side, finds his left back at the boots of Carroll. Now to the far side, Cummings. So a bit of possession here. That's exactly what Liberty Hill needs to string some passes together, build up their confidence. But having possession is one thing, doing something with it quite another. Here comes Marquez with it, looking for Utahara. Around the defender, Marquez still with it. And he is fouled. A free kick won for the Eagles of Sanelli.
The referee is right on top of it. If he sees something that I can't see that looked like good defending, but actually it's good defending even with the foul call, you stop that break and you allow your team to recover. But I thought that was really well done there to slow him down, as you said, to prevent the pass that he was looking for and then to even stop the dribble.
Watching live coverage of the 2015 UIL Soccer State Championships. The 4A boys state final match. The shot from distance, and that one just off the frame. Don't think Mike had it covered tonight. Not expecting a shot from 40 yards out.
And that was dipping wickedly. If it had been between the posts, it would have been under the bar. But he's hit it wide, and Knight breathes a sigh of relief as Liberty Hill bring on a couple sets of fresh legs.
The Panthers bringing on 3 new players, and as you said, they're going to need all the fresh legs they can as the rain starts to fall here at Brickleblock Stadium in Georgetown.
It's not the rain, though, it's the lightning. I thought I saw a couple flashes, and it looks like we are having a suspension of this match.
And indeed, you are correct as always,
What?
Mr. Edward Carty. That is why we pay him the big bucks, ladies and gentlemen. Not just an analyst for soccer, also does weather as well. And with 21 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the match, we will take a mandatory 30-minute break as lightning has struck in the area. Sanelli with a 3-1 lead over Liberty Hill, the boys for a state final. So again, we will take mandatory 30 minutes. If there is another lightning strike, well, we will reset the clock.
Plus they're in the benches, so there is more
from 30.
for them to get
This
hit,
is
right?
so difficult for the players because they are going to have to just sit in this
They should
locker
play
room.
in El
They're going to
Paso.
get stiff and cold.
Nothing happens there
And
except
assuming
dust.
that we are able to resume this match in
Yeah.
half an hour or so, the warm-up period that is granted to the players is barely adequate. And it's an extremely difficult situation. I actually think, ironically enough, that Liberty Hill is not happy about this. You would have expected that the team that's